Astrotometry log. It is October the 5th, 2010. It's approximately 0033 UTC. We're going to look at the LASCO C3 image from the SOHO instrument. I had forecast some sun-grazing comets that came in back on the 29th, and this was one of the large ones. And these were based on interference patterns that I saw on the sun in the form of sunspots around a larger sunspot. And here's another one that came in on the 1st. And these will both be associated with coronal mass ejections that will produce storm activity on the Earth. You can see here's the first one again, and I'm going to pull down here, and you can see it usually takes about a day, maybe a day and a half before the coronal mass ejection is seen. And this one is really far north. This is very unusual to see this coronal mass ejection coming up this way. There was another little piece that went off this way. And here's the second one. We'll see another coronal mass ejection in the next few days from. But it's this one that I'm concerned about, because this storm activity is going to be very likely inland in a northern region. So this is indicating to me that we're going to have basically an extratropical cyclone, storm activity that will be forming probably in one of these three regions, either right here around Europe, here in the United States, or over here in Asia. And it's a little bit too early to tell exactly where it's going to form, but it's already starting to form. And so one of these regions is going to turn into a very, very unusual, powerful storm. And there could be near hurricane force winds at a very, very high latitude, which is sort of unusual. And some of these areas may flood fairly seriously. And again, it's too early to tell which one. And one of them will be lower, as you saw the coronal mass ejection in the C3. The second one was over this way. The first one is up this way. So it's this one, the one that goes back up this way, that I'm the most concerned about, because it's the most massive. And it usually takes about 3 days for these to start forming, 2 or 3 days for them to start forming. And then after they start forming, this one is going to grow significantly. And so one of these three regions, most likely this one, since it already has the cyclonic shape, but it could be either one of these. This has the highest cloud top right here, and so it could be this region. And then of course this area, there's already a sort of warm cold duality in this area. So one of these three areas is going to experience a very unusual storm in the coming days. It's still too early to tell. I had skipped this coronal hole forecasting for an earthquake, and we did see one in Japan that was approximately the latitude that would be corresponding with this particular coronal hole. It could be that we still see another event similar to this one from this disturbance. But since we had these two coronal mass ejections, I didn't want to put a forecast out, an earthquake forecast, because I really didn't know how these would influence the current sheet. In other words, between the period of time that this coronal hole opened and the period of time that the disturbance from the coronal hole arrived, we had these two other solar features that were potentially problematic for forecasting. And so I left that out. I do expect a couple more of these sun-grazing comets to come in the next few days, but the sun has become quiet again. And so the sunspots that we're seeing going over the limb are sort of the last ones we may be seeing for a while. There's no indication of activity coming over the limb, and so we might see this quiet sun for a while. Another thing I want to mention is that this may be the last astrotometry video log for a while. I've been accepting donations for continuation of this work, and I'm really no longer comfortable doing that. And so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the plan of producing music, and hopefully that will help me fund this. I don't want to go to a company. I don't want this to be under the thumb of the government in any way. And so I really do appreciate everyone's support, and hopefully I won't have to resort to pornography or prostitution. It's getting a little late in the game for that. So thanks. Stay subscribed. Hopefully there'll be more logs in the next few months. Take care.